guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how you can turn an ordinary pair of jeans into a really jazzy long maxi skirt. Now denim skirts are really in at the moment. They're kind of top fashion. They're great for that transitional period between like summer and autumn. So I really want a few, and it's great to kind of make your own out of old jeans because we all have some jeans lying around that we just don't wear, and this is so easy to do. So I'm in love with these jeans. Now I wouldn't normally cut up a pair of such beautiful jeans if I didn't have good reason. Now these ones, they're too short for me, so they just kind of swing around my ankles, and I've tried to wear them as they are and I have worn them, and I'm just always a bit conscious of the length of them because I just don't think it does me any justice. The fabric is incredible, so I've never been able to move them on because I've always wanted to make something out of them, because I have to create something I can wear, because look at this fabric. It's like all neon lights. I'm just obsessed with them, and they fit me really well kind of around my waist, well, my hips, so I might have to take them in a little bit so they're a waist skirt, but I thought with a denim skirt they don't have to be floor length, you want them to be a little bit shorter, so the length of these is bang on. So yeah, fingers crossed it works. But let's get to the tutorial. This is what they look like before I cut them up, and please don't write in the comments that you think I'm making a mistake here, because they are just, now that I've put them on again, they are just too tight as well. So they're a bit tight around my thighs, but they do fit, so I think as a skirt they'll work well, and they are a bit kind of hip huggery, so the flies keep undoing. Like look at this, I literally just did up the flies. I think as I move, the flies just come undone, so I'd have to do all the tricks to kind of keep the flies up if I wore them as jeans, and it would just drive me insane. Whereas if I turn it into a maxi skirt, I can actually wear these a bit higher, I can even put a belt with them, and they're just going to look really cool kind of with colourful tops in summer, but also cross over to autumn. And it's great wearing colours still in autumn, but the length of them is wrong. I mean, I don't know if I'm actually showing you my feet or not, but they're proper little ankle swingers. Which there's no shoes I can wear that I feel like ankle swingers work. Even barefoot, it just isn't, it's not my kind of vibe. I like my jeans to either be purposefully kind of 3/4 length and normally skinny if they're 3/4 length, or full length and wider. So especially a flare, they need to be floor length so I can wear them with boots and it look really cool. So I need like 3 more inches on these. Now I could do the trick where you like fold them into skinnies, but I just don't think, I think they'll work better as a skirt, especially because they're too tight everywhere. So they're not, like you can see here, they don't actually come up high enough, like they're almost low rise at the back. I just think the fabric will work better on me as a skirt than it does currently with the jeans, because there is no stretch in these whatsoever as well. So let's sacrifice them and let's get cutting. The first step we're going to do is lay out the trousers, and then using a seam unpicker, which just looks like this, or if you don't have one of these, a pair of nail scissors or even just normal scissors can do the trick, but one of these is going to make your life a lot easier. We're going to unpick the inner seam of the trouser all the way to the crotch, and we're going to do this on both legs. So this might take a bit of time and patience, but you just want to start opening the seam and then follow it all the way up to the top. you should have something like this, which might look a little bit odd, but if you've ever wondered how your trousers are made, this is probably a great way to see it. Next steps, you're going to want to unpick the crotch seam on the front, so this is where my zip is, just up to the base of the zip. So it doesn't help that I've picked the most patterned jeans to do this tutorial with, so if I undo it, the base of my zip is there, and so I'm just going to undo those about 2.5 inches from crotch to the base of the zip. So the next thing you're going to want to do is turn them over. Now if your jeans are too big for you, this is a perfect opportunity to pinch out some of that fabric and actually bring them in. And you can do this by unpicking the waist belt and actually taking out 1 inch or 2 of fabric and then re-sewing on the waistband. I don't have that luxury with these jeans because they are actually about -1 inch too small for me. So I've got to keep this part of my jeans as big as I can. So I'm not touching the seam because I'm worried that if I undo that, I won't ever get it as tight to either side, and I'll actually make these a bit smaller for me, and that will be a nightmare. So I think what I'm going to do, which might look a little bit more messy, but I think because it's a patterned fabric I'll get away with it, I'm going to turn them inside out and I will pinch them into a triangle like this. I'm doing it the wrong way around currently, and pin it so that it just gets rid of that crutch fabric that goes underneath with trousers, and we'll just sew it kind of to join up with the bum crack seam. I don't know what to call it, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So this seam here, I'm just going to join it, and we're just going to pin it all together, and then I'm going to machine sew this just so it's really, really strong. Now if your jeans are a bit big for you and you don't have access to a sewing machine, don't stress. If you've got a couple of hours on your hand, just methodically kind of sew a little running stitch all the way down, and you should still get the same effect. Just make sure you're using strong thread. Easy straight stitch down the side here just to kind of get rid of those crutch bits. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side of the trousers. So this is the back, and I'm just going to continue this kind of butt seam, but I want to continue it straight. So I'm going to just try and cut that triangle out there and just do a straight stitch, making kind of like a nice isosceles triangle, probably to about this point here. So a little bit lower down to where I've sewn up this one, just to my butt's going to be obviously up here, so I just want to make sure it's long enough to keep me decent, otherwise I might need to put some extra fabric in. But let's just get rid of this kind of triangle and then try it on, and we can go from there. Voila, you should have something like this. So this is the front where you've got the flies, and then you can see this is my seam here, and it just goes down to about here. So it might still be a little bit on the short side, but we can work through that and potentially put some fabric in between that little slit there. Then if I turn it over, you can see here that you've got the seam of the bum here that I didn't do, and then you can see my seam just kind of follows it along, and it goes all the way down to about here. So let's put it on and see what it fits like. This is how the skirt fits currently, and I am so happy with how it's coming together. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised how not tight the skirt is. So those jeans were way too tight for me, but actually as a skirt, it's really relaxed fit. Like, it's not too tight around my hips or butt, and I think that's because the jeans had to go round my thighs, whereas the skirt, I've kind of released all of that tension. That's all I can think it is, because this fits really nicely. It's literally not too tight anywhere. Because I was really nervous about having to sew up those slits, because I was thinking, oh, my stitching has to be really strong because it's almost going to like want to rip open where my hips are. But it literally doesn't. So if you have a pair of jeans that are a bit tight for you, consider turning them into a skirt, because it'll probably work really well. But now I'm thinking I'm going to sew these slits up just a little bit more because I can. So I was worried I wouldn't have the give in the fabric, but now that I know I do, I think I'm just going to bring the slits down to my knees, probably both sides. So I think I'll just do them matching. I think it looks quite nice having a slit at the front and a slit at the back. But I think, yeah, if I just bring them down to my knee length or even just below, it will just be really, really wearable. But I am so chuffed with how this is turning out because I absolutely loved these jeans. Like, the fabric is incredible, but I just couldn't wear them as jeans. So I am over the moon that it is working. So let's sew up these slits a little bit more. So I'm just going to use the straight stitch on my sewing machine again. And then we'll try them on again. I've just turned the jeans inside out. Now I am going to pin them this time, just because I want them to be the same length either side. So on this front seam, I just want to add about 5 inches roughly, if I can. So I'm just going to lay them out as flat as possible. I think there's some pins under here. Yes. Try not to impale myself. So let's just take a look at my seam. Make sure it's all even. But I'm so happy with how these are turning out. So I'm going to just literally follow, so I'm going to actually turn these around this way, because I think it'll be easier to follow the seam on this side. And that's the thing, everyone's jeans are going to be a little bit different. So just work with your jeans, see what amount of fabric you can play with, and then just kind of do it in stages. Just adjust them whilst trying them on, adjust them again, until you're happy with them and it'll be something you wear. And I'm so happy how it's turned out. Sewing up the slit to the knee was the perfect thing to do, because at the front you barely see the slit, but it is there and I can completely move my legs, but kind of as I'm moving you don't really see it, I just have that freedom. And then the slit at the back is just that perfect slit kind of level. So it's a pencil skirt, but I can actually move in it. It's not too tight anywhere. I think the seams are done, like, I'm really impressed with myself. Like, I think I'm going to change career from geologist to seam mistress now, because I am so chuffed with how this has turned out. Seriously, if you have an old pair of jeans or trousers, I think this would work with kind of just multiple, anything you wear on your legs, you could potentially turn into a skirt. You might have to fiddle a little bit and like manipulate it in your own way, but give it a go. Because look how well this has turned out. So I have a few alternative trousers that I'm also going to try and turn into skirts, so there might be a few more of these videos, so if that would be useful for you guys, like and subscribe, then you could check those out. But let me know down below if there's a specific material type you'd like tried out, or you know, a certain type of skirt or style of skirt. You can just drop me an email and I'll try and make it happen. But I am so happy with this. Like, look, it's amazing. And the seams, I know it's a pattern skirt, but you would just never know that this wasn't always a skirt. Like, it has worked so well. I'm so happy. Like, it's such a fun skirt, and now I can actually wear it. And yeah, it's not just going to sit around getting dust. But that's today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this was useful and you guys are going to give some of your jeans a new lease of life. But like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you next time. I'll also link my other social media down below if you'd like to follow me on there, as I do have a second channel which is all about rocks and geology, which is the other passion in my life. So if you like that sort of stuff, check that out. It's just called MGems. But yeah, thank you again for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.